Abẹ́òkúta.
Ọlọ́run ń bẹ fún wa ẹ̀tẹ̀ra mọ́ṣẹ́ o. Iṣẹ́ yá ọmọ ogun iṣẹ́ yá. May we have a seat? Thank you very much. Every single day, regardless of the sectors we find ourselves, we generate wastes at the home front, the industrial sectors, of course, our hospitals and hospitality providing spaces and businesses, coming to our various educational institutions, and of course, in our day-to-day running of different activities. These wastes, if not properly disposed, can indeed affect not only the environment, but also we that will exist in this environment and the society. That necessitated the coming together of various experts to come and say, we want to brainstorm, take a step further in ensuring that wastes generated are well disposed of, to the extent that we can tap into them as we move with the current tab the world over. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that Ogun State, the Gateway State, is very happy to play host to this workshop with the theme, Chemical Handlers and Users Workshop, Chemicals and Waste Management, Circular Solutions for a Sustainable Economy. In that light, I'd like to recognize the presence of our excellent CON. We have with us a distinguished professional in the engineering sector, Engineer Nohimot Salako Oyedele FN. I'll say to this event, the Honorable Commissioner for Environment in our dear state, Dr. Ola Oresoya, is also here. A round of applause. Permit me to recognize SSA on Environment to His Excellency, another distinguished and thoroughbred professional with us, Mr. Farouk Akintude. You're most welcome. Permanent Secretary in this ministry, a thoroughbred broadcaster, journalist per excellence, we like to have our hands together for Sam Oyele and all the body of permanent secretaries in Ogun State present here. You are duly recognized. Chairmen of our various local government councils who are indeed here to be part of this event, you are warmly welcome. Please, can we applaud all of them with our applause? Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize, standing in for the managing director of Lafarge. This is one organization that's been partnering with us and saying wherever Ministry of Environment, Ogun State is going, whatever OGEPA is putting in place, we will continue to be. Permit me to also recognize all our various participants from different sectors who are part of this workshop today. And the gentlemen of the press will recognize your input, because without you, what we're doing here today will not be projected to the outside world. Progress. When we talk about the public relations, what we do here, we extend to the outside world and, of course, to the various publics that we represent, and to ensure that what we do is passed down to our various publics. We have the chairperson of the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, Ogun State chapter, who is also here to be part of this workshop. Permit me to welcome in a special way, Sheung Boye. You're most welcome. Please, a round of applause for her. Your Excellency, Ma, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Honorable Minister of State for Environment, Federal Republic of Nigeria, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen here present. We will take some other recognitions as the program progresses. And to officially welcome all of us to this event today, let me beckon on the Honorable Commissioner for Environment in the Gateway State, Ogun State, for his welcome address. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Dr. Ola Oresoya as he steps forward to welcome us here today. And just before his welcome address, we'd like to welcome the Director General of USRA, who is part of this event today. And as a matter of fact, he will be taking some of our discussions here today to ensure that what we do is indeed well represented and implemented in our Gateway State. Director General, Nigeria Environmental Standards and Regulatory Agency, NESRA, Professor Aliyu Jairo is here with us this morning. Our hands together for him.
His Excellency Prince Dr. Abiodun, CON, ably represented by Excellency Engineer Naimot Oyedele, the Honorable Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Ishak Salako, DG of NESRA, Professor Aliyu Jairo, the General Manager of LASEPA is here, Dr. Tunde Ajayi. The local government chairman present here, I can see you. Our distinguished facilitator and resource persons, talking about Professor Onyawa of Bazaar Convention. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to the second edition of the Chemical Handlers and Users Workshop in Ogun State. I'm truly honored to stand before you in this significant occasion and to welcome everyone to the second edition of the Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency Chemical Handlers and Users Workshop. Your presence here reflects your commitment to the critical issues we face in the realm of environmental protection and the zeal for a change where necessary. In a state that is progressively shaped by industrialization and increased waste generation, the responsible management of chemicals and waste has become paramount. The total number of large-scale industries registered in Ogun State as at August 2023 shows that we have about 282 large industries, large-scale industry registered in Ogun State. But we have about 7,000 of such industries, or medium scale and other smaller industries registered in Lagos State. About 7,000 of them. And over 70% of these industries have their warehouse and their factory in Ogun State. So you know what I mean by that. And because they have their warehouse and factory in Ogun State, their raw materials and used chemicals is stored and dispensed into the waste stream in Ogun State. When you go online, you see that Lagos has about 7,000 registered medium and large-scale industries. But apparently, they have their footage right in Ogun State. That's exactly what we are contending with in Ogun State, and that's why we are here today. Today we have convened to explore and address these challenges, focusing on the theme of this workshop, chemical and waste management, the circular solution for a sustainable economy. This workshop stands as a testament to our commitment to environmental responsibility and sustainable practices. Today's deliberations are not merely a meeting of minds. They are a collective effort to address the challenges posed by chemical and waste in our evolving landscape. Chemical waste is in excess, unused, is any excess, unused, and unwanted chemicals, especially those that causes damages to human or the environment. Chemicals such as persistent organic pollutants, POPs, which ought to have been eliminated or substituted, are very rampant in use in our industrial domain. Chemical waste generated as a result remain persistent in our air, waterways, and land, thereby exerting their hazardous effect on the citizen. Of particular concern is the use of explosive chemical employed in the extractive industry. Especially, recent report by Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative shows that Ogun State contributed substantially to 33% of growth in solid mineral assets of the nation. These industries and other extractive industries use a lot of explosive chemicals in the course of their operations. Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency has a core mandate to ensure that this chemical waste generated within and around the state is effectively managed to ensure a healthy and safe environment for all, and as well prevent improper handling, storage, and disposal of such chemicals as waste. Permit me to laud the success of the maiden edition of the Chemical Handlers and the Users Workshop, themed Chemical Control, Strategies to Achieving a Sustainable Development Goals, where over 150 industries and other relevant stakeholders were in attendance. This was 2 years ago. The workshop had a great impact in the recorded increase in voluntary compliance from a significant number of chemical users in the state, most especially in the areas of chemical control and tracking. This is evident in decrease in the cases of reported industrial accident, which reduced significantly from 45% in 2021 to 18% of reported industrial accident with respect to chemical storage in 2023. This year's workshop promised to build on the success of the first edition in the management while focusing on achieving sustainable economy. Circular economy therefore offers an alternative sustainable model to the linear economy model, which we are already used to. It takes into cognizance the safety, integrity, and reusability of material, which can be continuously reprocessed into the system without compromising the health and sustainability of the environment. It is therefore an intentional strategy of restoration which replaces the end-of-life concept, a change towards the use of renewable energy, use of fewer virgin resources from the natural system, and leaving fewer emissions and pollutions. Embracing circular solutions in chemical and waste management guarantees that a more efficient and sustainable production model is established over a period of time. It ensures that environmental degradation and pollution are reduced or eliminated. Water and air quality is improved, and greenhouse emissions are also reduced. To achieve the foregoing, therefore, concerted effort of 4 relevant regulators such as Standard Organization of Nigeria, that is SON, NESRA, NAFDAC, Federal Ministry of the Environment, also at the state level such as OGEPA, LASEPA, etc., all local government chairmen and health workers our thought leaders from academia, industrialists, other stakeholders which are present here today are required to institutionalize and sustain this long overdue global expectation of achieving SDGs of the Agenda 2030, SDG agenda by 2030 by employing circular solution. As a fallout of the first edition, Ogun State government took a bold step to establish the DEX office on health and safety, HSE, in the Ministry of the Environment. The office is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring HSE accreditation and certification on all categories of industries, large hotels, factories, commercial outlets in the states. And we hope that this DEX office will gravitate into a commission very soon, which is a health and safety commission in Ogun State. In conjunction with a credible consultant, the state is set to commence the ESG assessment and compliance rating among major organizations in Ogun State. Also, before the end of the year, there's going to be a publication of Ogun State Green Book, which will detail mandatory environmental guidelines and regulations by Ogun State, as detailed in the national guidelines set by NESRA. Lastly, as part of Ogun State mandate entailed in the Ishaya agenda, for those of us who are not in the state, Ishaya is all about, that's a mantra for the state, which is about infrastructure, social welfare, education, youth development, and agriculture. We are honored to hold this workshop of vital importance for sustainable economy and responsible environmental governance in the state. Ladies and gentlemen, I would therefore request that you fasten your seatbelt as we take you on a journey of endless possibilities in the circular economy of chemical and waste management for a sustainable economy. Thank you for listening.
May I ask that we continue that applause until the Honorable Commissioner takes his seat? Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Ogun State, Dr. Ola Oresoya, is one with 37 years postgraduate working experience in solid wastes management and with extensive specialization in project development and financing. And you will agree with me that that experience is bringing to bear in this ministry, Ogun State. One more time, can we encourage him with our applause this morning? While giving his opening address, we have joining us the Deputy Chief of Staff to His Excellency, Dr. Oluwatoyin Taiwo. You're most welcome. Please a round of applause for him. At this point, Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is a carefully packaged mini docu. And if you ask, what is it all about? A mini documentary that is to serve as a foundation upon which this workshop is building on. And we'd like you to please pay attention to this documentary that will facilitate in bringing some information that will be useful to all of us present here attending this workshop today, and to serve as the premise upon which we will fly and the workshop will be based. Please, your attention should shift to the screen now as we have this documentary to indeed serve us in that flight that the Honorable Commissioner asked us to fasten our seatbelt. Enjoy it and be well informed. Everyday waste in various forms, but they are oblivious to the best methods of disposal. This ignorance leads to dangerous consequences, jeopardizing the existence of humans, animals, and plants.
The vulnerability of mankind is heightened in such situations on society and is a major issue in terms of waste management. For example, corroded chemical containers can catch fire, releasing toxic fumes into the air and underground pathways. The use, recycling, and disposal of lead-acid batteries has been significantly responsible for most environmental hazards due to poor management of scraps and metals, and it exposes humans to toxic chemicals including mercury. The problem of plastic waste remains a major issue, clogging gutters and negatively impacting waterways, leading to water pollution and flooding. This necessitates a collective effort to adopt a pragmatic approach in handling and storing hazardous chemicals. Those that have occurred recently, such as the incidents in Ibadan, which resulted in loss of lives and property, heavy downpours on informal waste dumps cause latching of contaminants into the ground, leading to groundwater pollution. Unfortunately, these contaminants are absorbed by plants and then consumed by humans and animals. Of equal concern are the effects of untreated industrial effluents, which poses severe threats by contaminating water, soil, and air. This leads to ecological disruption, loss of biodiversity, and significant risks to human health. The key point here for emphasis is that we need to adopt the culture of proper waste disposal, circular economy. We can make a difference.
Yes, that's the message from the Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency. Together, we can make that difference. And that's why we're here, in ensuring that that difference is a positive one. Your Excellency, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to also recognize the presence of the Secretary to the Ogun State Government, who is part of this workshop this morning. Mr. Tokumbo Talabi is here with us. Please, let's encourage him with our applause. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of State, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I plead that there will be a slight alteration in our program this morning, and it is to ensure that we have the best in terms of program arrangement for this opening session. We will move straight to the aspect of goodwill messages, and we'd like to implore those that are concerned that you have just 120 minutes to do that. We appeal to us that we drop all protocols and we just stand on them and we move ahead with our goodwill messages. I don't know if we have the representative of the IHS with us this morning. The representative of the IHS. If not, let's take on the representative of Lafarge, and thank God we have the head of the Jill Circle with us, Daniel Adidoku, and the representative of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Man, should be getting ready. So let's take Daniel now for the goodwill message. Daniel is representing Lafarge. Well, yes, the goodwill messages will last for just 120 seconds, making just 2 minutes. So I thought I said 120 seconds. Maybe I'm eager to move into the technical session. So 120 seconds, please, Mr. Daniel, so that you won't think that you have the luxury of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I stand on all existing protocol. I'm happy to be here again this year. I joined the last year one, and we saw the impact of that. Now we're here again to look at chemical and land user workshop from the perspective of circular solution. To me, I mean, if we need to move forward our country, I believe we need to start closing the loop, you know. We need to move away from the linear system we all aware of. And so if Ogun State is pushing this program this year, it means we are taking a new step to move this forward. I mean, in terms of circular economy, simple put means we need to find a way to start consuming our waste by handling them properly and consuming it. Because if you handle it and there's no method of consumption, it means we are still stuck with the problem. And that's why I'm happy for the state to drive this, looking at a lot of industry that are developing here. I think it's high time we find solution to this. And I'm happy the State Ministry of Environment is taking this in the forefront. And I will encourage everyone present here to support this initiative to be able to drive this opportunity. And I can tell you, the organization today that are consuming waste as part of their project, you know, I mean, maybe 5-6 years ago, I used to think only few, but I've seen a lot of other companies doing the same thing in the market. So I want to encourage us to do that, to support the government to make this to happen. Thank you very much, since I have 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Daniel. There's one thing I love about him. He's very, very time conscious, because time is money. The representative of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, do we have them in-house with us this morning? If not, then we move straight to, all right, thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols duly observed. My name is Mutura Elegbero, the Executive Secretary of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, an institution focused on promoting and protecting the interest of manufacturers in Nigeria and, of course, beyond the shores of this country. We're grateful for a forum like this. Thank you so much, sir, since you came on board. We've had a very wonderful relationship, and then you keep putting together initiatives like this that help manufacturers to know exactly what they are supposed to do and to comply better. Please, I heard you talk about the fact that Ogun State will be coming up with a guide of environmental regulations. Please, we are eager for something like that. It helps our own compliance when at the start of, by the time companies are preparing for the next year, they already know, okay, these and these are what I expected of them. It helps us to comply better. And we want to promise you, sir, that whatever you need us to do at every point in time, if we have enough knowledge about what is required of us and what we are supposed to do and how we are supposed to do it, we promise we would always do what is expected. I know there will always be 1 or 2 cases of issues here and there, but we want to assure the state government that manufacturers are willing to comply. We will continue to support the government in every way we can, and we believe that it will be a partnership that would continue to work. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mutunrayo. That's a beautiful one, and an assurance coming from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Ogun State Environmental Protection Agency is doing a yeoman's job, and the counterpart agency in Lagos State, just nearby, says whatever we do, they will be here to give us that support and to ensure that we work in synergy, just to ensure we arrive at the same destination. And this morning, to bring us a goodwill message for this opening ceremony of this workshop, I'll invite the General Manager of the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Tunde Ajayi, for his own goodwill message. A round of applause for him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. It's such an exciting time to be here. And there's no better time to actually talk about what we're discussing today than now. Considering the events of the past few weeks and what we currently experience in Lagos on a daily basis, you know, there's a lot of enlightenment, there's a lot of discussions that we need to have around chemical and waste management. And there's no other state to spearhead and lead this conversation than the one led by the Bible of waste management himself, Dr. Ola Oresanya. Please let's give him a very big round of applause. So first of all, I would like to thank him for the leadership he brings to the table all the time. He's such a wealth of resources. And I would like to say that this will spur everybody, Lagos, Ogun, and all the partnering or all the neighboring states to do better with chemical and waste management, to approach circular economy, the best way possible, and make sure that it works for all of us as we move towards a more sustainable environment for ourselves. So on this note, I would like to wish us excellent deliberations, a lot of partnerships, and pray that we achieve the set and desired goals. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the General Manager, LASEPA. Your Excellencies, the Honorable Minister, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our participants, and our resource persons. We'll be moving straight to a keynote address. This will be delivered by a product of the prestigious University of Lagos, UNILAG, one who studied, but even with that, he's doing well in every assignment that he's been called to step in to put up. His retention and regurgitating memory while studying by his classmates years back at the Abeokuta Grammar School known as Abeo Grams made him to stand out in a unique manner. Today, he is the Honorable Minister of State Environment, Federal Republic of Nigeria. But prior to this, he has served meritoriously here in Ogun State in 3 or 4 ministries as honorable commissioners. Today is here to give us a keynote address on chemicals and waste management, circular solution for sustainable green economy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your hands. All right, just before we have that keynote address, Your Excellency, permit me, the Director General of NISRA will just peep in a word or two as his own goodwill for this opening ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the microphone Professor Aliyu Jairu.
Thank you very much. Even though they say I should respect protocol, but please permit me to recognize my Honorable Minister of State, my mentor and my supervisor, Dr. Isiaq Salako, the Honorable Governor of Ogun State, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm highly delighted to be here for this workshop, Circular Solutions for a Sustainable Economy. This is very apt because presently we are facing a lot of challenges to do with waste management, and circular economy is the way out. So NESRIA, as an FX Environmental Protection Agency in Nigeria, have the mandate to ensure compliance with all environmental laws, regulations, and guidelines. So we have started the implementation of EPR, which is tailored towards circular economy in Nigeria. So this workshop is apt, is very, very important, especially for a state like Ogun, with the vast number of industries around, chemical industries specifically. So this workshop will go a long way in sensitizing all stakeholders, and it will allow them to comply with the regulations so that we can have a cleaner and healthier environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. When a prof is here, and he has a supervisor sitting here, I'm sure he would like to pay that courtesy just like he has just done this morning. A mentor he is, a supervisor he is still, but by the special grace of God, he has moved a step further by being the Honorable Minister. But just before we take the keynote address one more time, Your Excellency, permit me to also deliver a goodwill message. Someone who represents an international organization. As a matter of fact, he is the country director of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization known as UNIDO. And his name sounds like a name in this part of the country. He is Jane Bakole, but permit me to say he is Jane Bankole coming home this morning. A round of applause for Jane as he comes forward to deliver his goodwill message. Jane Bakole, country director of UNIDO. Please, let's encourage him this morning.
Good morning, everyone. And let me start by saying I'm not John Bakole. My boss is John Bakole. My name is Oluyomi Banjo. And I'm very happy to be back home. I'm from Ogun State, but I've not been home in a long time. So it's very good to be back home. And sorry, Honorable Minister, Deputy Governor, a guest here present, I'm very happy to bring you good tidings from all of us at UNIDO. Mr. John Bakole's, tomorrow is Mr. John Bakole's last day in the United Nations. He'll be retiring tomorrow. But we are very glad to be here. We see the importance Ogun State has, especially in the industrial sector. About 70% of industries in Nigeria is shared between Ogun and Lagos State, which means that we have no choice. If we are going to go for industrial development, we have to work with Ogun State. And also looking at the theme of this event, chemicals management. Chemicals management, it's a big topic around the world with so many conventions, protocols, and treaties. So we have to do something about it. Thank you very much, Ogun State, for setting this up. This is what we want from governments. This is what we want from federal governments, from state governments, and from local governments. Thank you for organizing this, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Oluyomi Banjo, the program coordinator. UNIDO is a seasoned environment and industrial expert with vast international experience. And just stepping in, joining us here today, we have the head of service, Ogun State, Mr. Kolaole Peter Fagbo. He's just coming from another event, and he says he must ensure that he's part of this opening session this morning. Thank you very much, the head of service. Like I rightly said the other time, the keynote address that is focusing on chemicals and waste management, circular and solution for sustainable green economy will be delivered by our own Honorable Minister of State Environment. This is one man that is readily available to step into any shoes and will perform creditably well. When we had the last challenge of flooding, he came personally to assess himself and then went back to the Federal Capital Territory, where indeed he placed a well-articulated report on that flooding. Thank you very much. At this point, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the microphone Honorable Minister of State for Environment, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Ishaq Kunle Salako. A round of applause for him, please.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, CON, who is here ably represented by my sister, a public health engineer par excellence, and we know that when we talk about public health engineering, its relevance from environmental sector is very, very major. So I am not surprised that my governor has asked you to come and stand in for him at this very environmental event. I recognize you with respect, madam. The secretary to the government of Ogun State, another brother who is also very versatile in many fronts. I am also happy that you are here to be part of this very important event. The Director General of NESRA, I call him the Inspector General of the Environment. And I usually tell him that just like the Inspector General of Police does not sleep, you cannot be sleeping, no. And I'm sure he's rising up to that challenge. Professor Jaro, you are welcome to Ogun State. The Honorable Commissioner for Environment, clearly an authority in that sector, Tola Oresonya, the Deputy Chief of Staff, the Head of Service, the SA to the Governor on Environment, the General Manager, LASEPA, OGEPA, Permanent Secretary, the Minister of Environment, and other Permanent Secretary here present. Permit me to also recognize my brother from UNIDO, Mr. Yomi Banjo, the chairman of our various local government councils who are here present. And I must commend the Minister of Environment for bringing in the local government chairman to be part of this event. Because if you're talking about environment, we all know that it is across governments. And the local government has a very, very important role to play. So I'm happy that they are here. Distinguished invitees, participants, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here this morning to deliver a keynote address at this important forum of key players in the chemical and industrial sector. Incidentally, my first official assignment as a minister in Ogun State, addressing eminent personality like this is this event. I am delighted that the theme of this forum is focusing on a key element of sustainable development, which is at the core of President Tinubu's Renew Hope agenda to revitalize our nation's economy. Let me first and foremost congratulate the Ogun State government, the Ministry of Environment, and OGEPA for organizing this workshop and aligning itself with the vision of the federal government to achieve a circular future, one that combines economic development with safeguarding natural resources and the environment. The President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, continues to demonstrate his full commitment to environmental sustainability and climate action through his policies, plans of action, his pronouncements, and strategic presence at global events. His recent participation in COP28 activities in Dubai, UAE, is a clear testimony that he is giving priority position to the environment in his agenda. I am happy to observe that my governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, is following in this commendable pathway. You are all aware that Nigeria is one of the fastest growing countries in the world, with a population of over 200 million, generating about 32 million tons of solid waste per annum, with little or no segregation, and the waste often dumped in open spaces, sometimes with hazardous materials, and burned openly. These unwholesome practices have been linked to perennial flooding across the country, increased respiratory and cardiovascular diseases, increased incidences of cancer, loss of aquatic life, and agricultural productivity. We are all aware that chemicals are in society as they are produced and are also used in every sector of our society, including industrial, in health, in energy, transport, agriculture, construction, textile, and consumer products, just to mention a few. The importance of chemicals to our economy as a nation cannot be overemphasized, as affirmed by the International Council of Climate Association. According to ICCA, the sector contributes an estimated $5.7 trillion or 7% of the world gross domestic product, through direct, indirect, and induced impact, supporting 120 million jobs worldwide. However, while they contribute significantly to the well-being of society, they also pose a threat to human health and our environment and sustainability if they are not managed responsibly. Currently, according to UNEP, nearly 140,000 industrial chemicals are marketed worldwide, including in Nigeria, meaning that hazardous chemicals, products containing them, their waste, and related pollutants continue to be released and disposed in large quantities. The result is not only the negative impact on the environment, but also on humans and animals exposed to these chemicals in different ways, causing different biological responses and oftentimes leading to serious health issues. Suffice it to say that some of our cries about spiritual attack from our village on our health are purely consequences of the mismanagement of chemicals. Therefore, as the global community navigates through the challenges of chemical utilization and their deleterious effects, and works towards achieving development in a responsible manner, devoid of consequences that would negatively impact the health of the people, Nigeria cannot afford to sit back and conduct its business as usual, but must make intentional, all-inclusive, and properly contextualized efforts to fight environmental ills brought about by industrialization. Achieving this is not possible without the circular economic principle. Hence, a sustainable, future-focused economy must include its development, which this forum is providing an opportunity for a better understanding of the economic model. The Federal Ministry of Environment, through the National Environmental Standard Regulation and Enforcement Agency, NESRA, is responsible for enforcing all environmental laws, guidelines, policies, standards, and regulations in Nigeria, as well as enforcing compliance with provisions of international agreements, protocols, conventions, and treaties on the environment to which Nigeria is signatory. In addition to the mandate of NESRA to enforce compliance with regulations on the importation, exportation, production, distribution, storage, sale, use, handling, and disposal of hazardous chemicals and waste, another agency of the ministry, the National Oil and Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, is saddled with the circular management of waste in the oil and gas sector. The concept of circular economy is very broad and overarches a range of related topics, including resource efficiency, waste hierarchy, shift to renewable resources, both for material and energy purpose, and more. Broadly speaking, the circular economy is based on three overarching principles of designing out waste and pollution, maintaining the value of materials and products, and keeping them in use as long as possible, and regenerating natural system. Implementing circular economy will demand of all of us as government, producers, manufacturers, and consumers to rethink production and consumption patterns, and to redefine the term growth into one that captures benefit beyond economic profit alone. The federal government is aware of the several obstacles of the implementation of a circular economy in Nigeria, including policy and legal regulatory framework, insufficient funds dedicated to promoting the concept, inadequate and unaffordable recycling technologies, dearth of information on alternatives, low-level public awareness, inadequate data, economic constraints, and sometimes just fear of change, among others. Despite these challenges, the federal government, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is resolute in achieving a clean, circular, and buoyant economy for the nation. And therefore, my ministry, the Federal Ministry of Environment, as part of its deliverables under the 8th priority agenda of Mr. President, is expected to commence the full implementation of the circular economic roadmap for the country this 2024. Consequently, the ministry is taking proactive measures to promote sound circular economic principles and practices in the country. These measures include strengthening relevant policies and institutional and regulatory framework to address identified gaps, building the capacity of manufacturers, producers to embrace the principle of cleaner production and circular economy in their operations, enforcing national policies on chemical management, solid waste management, plastic waste management, and battery waste management. Implementation of the extended producer responsibility program, developing and implementing a waste-to-wealth entrepreneurship program for the empowerment of the most vulnerable groups in the society, putting in place a national plastic waste recycling program aimed at establishing at least one plastic recycling plant in each of the 774 local government areas in the country, putting in place a community-based waste management program that encourages the involvement of local communities in modern waste management practices such as waste sorting, segregation, composting, and recycling, raising consumer awareness around sustainable purchase practices by increasing consumer demand for greener, safer, and healthier services and products. Recently, the ministry set up a Circular Nigeria Committee to come up with innovative, inclusive, locally acceptable, business-friendly, and scalable ways to implement the Nigerian Circular Economic Roadmap. Incidentally, the chairman of that committee, the DG of NESRIA, is here physically present. We have also announced a ban on single-use plastics in all departments, agencies, programs, and projects of the federal ministry. In the days ahead, we shall be presenting a memo at the Federal Executive Council praying FEC to approve the banning of single-use plastics in all ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government of Nigeria. These measures, thank you very much. These measures, though they are symbolic, they demonstrate our commitment to frontally tackle the plastic waste menace in our environment. And it is also a warning shot that waste generation and management in our country cannot remain business as usual. As I commend the many subnational actions by state governments, including the Ogun State government, being undertaken to better manage our waste and promote circularity, let me use this opportunity to call on all ministries of environment in Nigeria to immediately adopt the policy of banning single-use plastics in all their offices and operations as a minimum symbolic demonstration and preparation for the inevitable ban of single-use plastics in our country. My ministry has prioritized initiatives and programs to promote circular management of waste in our budgetary submission for the 2024 fiscal year. Ogun State, alongside other selected states of the Federation, will therefore be witnessing special intervention projects of the federal government to promote waste to wealth and waste to energy in this year. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the transition to a circular economy is a collective action. As a sector and as individuals, I urge all of you to take responsibility. There is no sure way of enjoying tomorrow other than tendering today, our environment. Therefore, let us maximize all the opportunities that sustainable chemicals and waste management have to offer to build a healthy population and economy. Let us adopt best practices that will ensure that the production and use of chemicals and goods does not lead to adverse effects on human health and the environment. In conclusion, let me once again express my appreciation to Ogun State Government and the Ogun State Ministry of Environment for organizing this workshop and for inviting me to give this keynote address. I thank you all for your attention, and I wish you a very fruitful deliberation. God bless Ogun State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Minister of State, Environment, Federal Republic of Nigeria. That keynote address deserves a warm applause because it's what was well delivered and well thought out. Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Minister and Deputy Governor in a tete-a-tete. That's a nice one. Thank you very much, sir. All right. We will soon have the address of Her Excellency, but as a form of recapping on what we just did, for some of us who are just joining us here this morning, we set a foundation where this workshop will be built on. And we will also like you to savour that information that will help you either as an individual or as a family man, or a family woman, or for any organization or business concern that you are representing, because the waste disposal and the waste management should be everybody's business. Therefore, for the next 2.5 maximum, as you go to the screen one more time, to documentary to serve you with what this